So that's all you, baby. Do you guys notice how Larry got way louder as he was bringing me up because we're on Skype? It's he's like your dad who thinks he has to talk. What? What did you say? They think he has to talk about around the.
Plus, it's the art of promotion.
Right. Yeah. Hey, thank you, bro. I'm just giving you shit, Larry. I love you. What's up? What's up, NFL? I don't know. What's up? Yeah, I think you guys are on mute. Anyway, I'm really fired up to give this message, and here's the reason why. Man, this is an opinion, so take it with a grain of salt, but I really feel if you can be good at this, you can be good at just about anything that we do in our business, okay? If you can be great at promotion, you can be great at running an interview. If you can be great at promotion, you can be great at getting people to get fired up to set steroid PRs. If you can be great at promotion, you can be great at team meeting messages. You can be great at intro recognition. If you can be great at promotion, you can be great at training sales representatives. I mean, this is and so the first thing, I'm going to pass out a handout. So if you guys want to take one of these and pass. The first thing I said is really, let's try to define this first, okay? What is promotion? And in your words, if I were to ask you what that is, tell me by definition how you would define the word promotion.
Transfer of enthusiasm.
Building value.
Holy shit, time out. Okay. One of the best answers you could have right off the bat. And if you heard him, Andrew said a transfer of enthusiasm. You know what else is defined as a transfer of enthusiasm by Webster? A sale. Okay? So let's just be very clear. Promotion is what?
Selling.
It's selling. That's all it is. Okay? Promotion is selling. So, if you want to know a tip, especially if I don't know if there's DOMs at the NFL meeting. I know we have a couple ass kickers in this room who are going to be DOMs in major pillar offices, and we have branches and new DMs and current veteran DMs in the room. Well, guys, I'll tell you, this is what it comes down to. It's a sale. You want to be great. You want to be better at promoting? Sell more Cutco. True. If you have that kind of confidence in one area, it's really easy to transfer it to another. So it's a transfer of enthusiasm. How else would you define promotion?
I would piggyback off Flip and building value in an event or
building value in an event or in a person or a place or a thing or an idea. Love that. What else is it? What else is promotion?
Complete buy-in.
Ooh, total buy-in. On whose part?
The promoter.
Both.
Well, it has to be the promoter.
It has to be the person promoting to get the people who are being promoted to.
Right.
But yeah, total buy-in is the overall goal, right? My message, how many guys have ever seen the movie Almost Famous by a show of hands? You guys seen that? I'm aging myself here, okay. Almost Famous. Great movie, you guys should check it out. It's about this kid who drops out of high school essentially during his senior year to travel with a rock band and write for what ends up being Rolling Stone magazine, right? It's one of the coolest premises of any movie. And there's one scene where the lead singer of this band goes, my goal is that every single person in the audience is with me. I look for that one guy who's not with me, and I make him get with me. And I just think about that. When I'm promoting anything, that's my mission. Is that I have every single person in the room thinking like I'm thinking. Wanting to do whatever it is I'm promoting or wanting the thing that I'm promoting. And I look for the one person who's not. And my mission is to get them with me. So total buy-in, I love that. What else is promotion? By definition, how would you define it? Because it's funny, it's one of those elusive type of terms. It's hard to nail it down, right? I'll tell you, it's in my opinion, it's a sale, it's enthusiasm, it's total buy-in. And why is it important? Well, if you can't do well promoting, you're not going to get people committed to events. It's going to be tough to get people to call in after their demos for coaching calls. It's going to be tough to get people to look up names and numbers when they're at home their first night on the job. I mean, it's everything in our business. So what I'm going to do is a few things. I'm going to review some keys to promotion. And after I do that, I'm going to talk about 10 things that, in my opinion, as a Cutco manager, that you have to be great at promoting. So, let's talk about the keys to promotion first. Number one is confidence.
Do you still want the definition or not?
Confidence. Confidence is the definition of 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 confidence. Confidence is the definition What do you think, Larry? What do you got?
I think it's the activity that supports or provides active encouragement for the furtherance of a cause or adventure.
Furtherance? There's no way that's a word.
I'm just off the top of my head. That's how I
What's a couple keywords you got out of that actual definition?
Furtherance.
Other than furtherance, because that's not a real word.
Continuance of a cause.
I love that. Continuance of a cause. What are the active what?
activity.
There it is. Active activity. I love that. You know, it's something that you have to be active when participating in. I love that. So keys to promotion. So number one
They dipped out.
is real simple, and that's confidence. And I'll tell you, I don't always know when people have real confidence, but I know when they don't.
Oh.
Okay? And so I'll tell you, everyone at first has to fake it till they make it. Everyone at first has to fake it till they make it. Even the guy who went number 1 in the NBA draft, when he gets on the court for the first time, he has to fake it till he makes it. Okay? And everyone's the same way when they're a rookie in anything they do. Think about the people who have the greatest confidence with the ball on the basketball court. They tend to be who? Guys who have been in the league, guys who have been there, guys who have performed at a high level. They have won multiple games. They've won championships. Those are the guys that tend to be the best players on the court. And we could say that natural skill obviously plays into it, but a large amount of their essence, right, of their greatness comes from confidence. And confidence obviously comes from experience, right? You know, having experience in what it is you're promoting is really critical, right? I'm going to talk about this further when I go over other keys, but that's so important. Confidence, I'll tell you, it's an easy thing to gain, but it's way easier to lose. You know, and I've been on both sides of this coin, and anyone who knows my story knows that. So confidence in what you're talking about, here's the deal. The reason that someone like Larry, like Matt King, like any division manager, great pillar DM can do with Cuckoo and stand up and promote anything is because they have so much experience in those certain areas. So the more training you watch, the more training you run, the better you become at it. The more team meeting intro rec you do, the better you become at it. So that confidence is really important. The second thing I would say is body language. Is tonality. You know, much of owning a room does not come from anything that has to do with your words. It has everything to do with your presence. You know, presence, the easiest way for me to describe presence in a physical term is body language. You know, does someone walk into a room, you know, like they're kind of checking it out nervously like kids do when they come into an interview, right? Like, okay, strip mall parking lots. This is sketchy, right? And then the manager walks into the room and can immediately eradicate those feelings based upon their body language and their confidence, right? And you know, the old school vector mentality, I think, is the intimidation factor, right? And I believe the exact opposite. I want them to like me. I want them to think I'm cool. I want them to think that my place is cool, and it is. That shit's dope.
Right.
And I want them to think, so for me, it's always, hey, Bryan Hurlman, nice to meet you. I'm the owner.
Cam Fields.
How are you?
Doing great.
You're always the owner. I just feel like, you know, that's one of my favorite things about being a district manager was when I could finally say that I was the owner. I loved that. So that's how I introduced myself to people, you know, as the owner. And I introduced myself to them with a big smile and a really firm handshake. Like I want a firm handshake to the point where like most people notice it.
Like not like they're around.
Most people notice it. Like they're like, whoa. After they like, whoa.
You remember it?
Exactly.
I actually talk about that.
I'm just, you know, so body language is simple stuff like that. You know, instead of speaking at someone, right? Instead of like if you're introducing yourself to an applicant, instead of speaking at them, speaking with them. Side by side versus in front of them, and because that can be intimidating.
Right.
So speaking to them side by side is a great way to introduce. A hand on a shoulder is a good way to create an intimidating factor, but also at the same time be personable. And act like it's like you already have a relationship developed with this person. Oh shit.
Yeah, it got me.
Even when you don't. Okay, so body language. I'm a big believer in power speaking. That's number 3. So confidence, body language. I call it power language. Larry calls them certainty words. Well, I'll tell you, as a manager, you can never say words like if or about. I remember running interviews, and I would say about 60% of our customers buy. About 70%. Our representatives get about 5 to 10 recommendations. Things like about or if, those kinds of things have to be completely eradicated from your vocabulary. When you are promoting, here's the deal. On Afghanistan taught me this. You tell them what's going to happen. You just say it. You say it like it's already happened. And then when it happens, you be like, see, I told you it was going to happen. And that fuels real confidence. So you just, very simply, you speak in terms of certainty. Hey, listen, if you nail page 4, you will sell something on every single presentation that you do. If you're on my alliance and you follow the program and the process, you will sell 10,000 hours for the SC2 push. 7 out of 10 people buy the knives. Representatives average 5 to 10 recommendations. Our average order is $330. It's words of certainty. Okay? It's never, anything but. Because, they're going to feed off of you and your belief and your mentality. So when I'm speaking about anything, I'm speaking as if it's a physical fact. As if it's one of Newton's laws. Like literally, that is how every single phrase, every single word should come across to a rep or to an applicant. It's always words of certainty. You remove you remove that language from your vocabulary, and you'll be amazed at how much people actually follow what you do. When you say, "Hey, do this, it'll work," and you follow up and make sure they're performing those correct actions, the results always play themselves out like they're going to, like you said they would. It's amazing because when you say with confidence that 7 out of 10 people buy the knives and the average order is $330, you know what happens? They believe it. And you know what happens? It happens.
They expect
like our average order on Vector Connect is actually $330. 7 out of 10 people actually buy the knives if you look at the demo tracker. And so when you speak in that type of certainty, it brings those things into fruition. It's the law of attraction, right? You attract your most dominant thoughts. And it's the same thing with your language. Speak in terms of certainty versus terms of relativity. That's really, really important. So number 4 is key. PE and OPE. Okay, so you have confidence, body language, power speaking, power language. And number 4 is PE and OPE. Okay, what do those 2 things stand for?
Personal experience.
Personal experience and other people's experience. One of the easiest ways to promote anything is to use yourself and your own experiences as the example. Hey, listen, you've got to be at SC1. The bottom line is, this is the, you need to block this date out of your calendar. June 21st, block it out. You need to be there, period, end of story. This meeting will change the trajectory of your career with Cutco. I would not be speaking to you right now as a district manager if I wouldn't have been at my very first conference as a brand new sales representative. Period. This is if you want to be successful, you need to be at the event, period. Listen, if you don't want to be successful, that's fine. Then don't come. You probably also shouldn't be working here, return your sample kit. If you want to be successful, you need to be at this meeting. Period. This meeting will change the trajectory of your career. And so you use personal experience. The other thing you use is other people's experiences. The 2 easiest ways to get someone to do something is to talk about how you've done it and how other people have done it. Because many times when someone doesn't want to do something, when someone is failing to take action, what is the reason?
They think that they're the only one.
They're the only one feeling. They're fearful, and they're afraid they're the only person that feels like that. So when you say, hey, other people have felt like you and have done this. I have felt like you, this happened. Personal experience, other people's experience. Think about how people sell the knives, right? Personal experience, oh my gosh, Ms. Jones, my mom loves this bachelor sweater. She owns 3 of them. One is always being used. One is always in the dishwasher. One is always waiting on deck. She loves it. It's the same way with sales reps when you're talking about phone jams. Hey, I'll tell you right now, when I was a sales representative, I lived 1 hour away from the office. Anytime I had to make phone calls, you know what I did? I got my happy ass in my car, and I drove to the office, and I made phone calls there because I knew I wasn't going to do anything at home. I would find every single reason I possibly could not to make phone calls when I was at my house. Let me tell you something. When you come to my office to phone jam, you're going to hit your goal. You know why you're going to hit your goal?
It's awesome.
I'm going to see to it. You're here in the office. That's my job. It's a whole lot more fun too because we have, you have the music bumping. We have the tickets going out. We have drawings happening. I'll tell you, you have people who are doing the same thing you're doing, so it makes you a whole hell of a lot more competitive. You have managers who can encourage you, give you tips, and cut your learning curve down dramatically. I mean, this is the place to be. And I remember personally, I couldn't even phone him if it wasn't at the office. So using yourself as examples is such a power. Hey, I'll tell you, as a sales representative, every single Sunday, I got to the office at 2 p.m. I made phone calls from 2 to 6. I would take a break from 6 to 7 to go eat dinner and clear my head. And then I would come back and I would make phone calls from 7:30 to 9:30. I did that every single Sunday as a sales representative. By the way, that's a true story. I started my fast start was during SC2. And after SC2 was immediately SC3. I worked for only 6 weeks. I sold $30,000. That's actually what I did. I actually went into every single week with 10 to 20 appointments scheduled. I actually had a phone jam where I made 337 calls and booked up 28 demos. And when you have those types of personal experiences, I've actually come from behind in a push. I've actually had my teeth kicked in as a district manager. So wherever someone is in their career, whether it's as a sales representative, as a manager, there's times and things that I have in my own personal life that can relate to that person, and that is one of the most powerful tools that you have in your promotional arsenal. True. Personal experience and other people's experience. Number 5 is to know your audience and work it. Know your audience and work it. I'm going to adapt a message depending on who it is I'm speaking to, and I'm going to make sure that I know that audience, and I'm going to make sure that when I'm giving that message, I am delivering specifically to this group of people. If it's my assistant managers, I'm going to deliver a message a certain way. If it's my team, I'm going to deliver a message a certain way. If it's my DM team or if it's our DMs and our branches, I might deliver a message a certain way. You got to know your audience. And the other key is to not be afraid to work it. And what I mean by that is if you know certain things are going to pull on certain people's heartstrings, if you know certain things are going to make people explode out of the gates, those are the things that you hit on. Listen, my trainer is a life-changing trainer. The man is. Okay? By the way, he's super, super intense. Definitely has the tendency to rub people the wrong way, but has changed hundreds of lives with this 6-week, 20-pound challenge. Okay? The bottom line is when he's in an orientation, that is like a Cutco demo. He has people who have heard about on Facebook or through a friend that they have a weight loss challenge, and they know that it's free. But at the very end, towards the end, Kirk drops the bomb that there's a commitment deposit of $497. Because when every single muscle in your body, muscles that you didn't even know that you had, are aching, and that alarm goes off at 6 a.m., it's really easy to do the rollover and press snooze. You'll give up on your health and your fitness in your life a whole lot faster than you'll give up on $497 in a free t-shirt. Mm-hmm. People do more for a free t-shirt to get $497 back than they will for their own personal health, for the well-being of their family. I mean, this is his talk. He has a woman come up who had diabetes and had her leg chopped off from the knee down. She has a woman come in there who is over 400 pounds and has lost over 200 pounds with his program and is getting skin removed. I mean, he tugs people's heartstrings because he knows human beings are motivated by essentially 2 things: incentive and fear. And I'll tell you, one of those things is a whole hell of a lot more powerful than the other is. That's why at the very end of that SC1 promotion talk that I was talking about, that I did a couple minutes ago, one of the last things I mentioned was what? Like, what's the close?
Oh,
what's the close?
Yeah, if you want to be average.
Hey, listen, if you want to be average, okay? Listen, if you want to be average, that's fine. Okay, if you want to come out of college and make $25,000 or $28,000 a year before taxes, you don't need to be on my alliance. But if you want to be great, you need to be on my alliance. If you want to be the type of person that has options, you need to be on my alliance, right? And the last thing I talk about is, hey, if you want to be mediocre, you don't need to be on my alliance.
Right.
You know, if you want an average life, you know, average in our country, 20 pounds overweight, less than 5 close friends, less than $5,000 saved in the bank, hates their boss, hates their job. Okay, if you want average, you can have it, but you don't need to be on my alliance if you want average. If you want to make 25 grand a year coming out of college, 28 grand a year, hey, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but you just don't need to be on my alliance. If you want to do big things in and outside of this business, you need to get your ass on my SC1 alliance. So, you know, I think that's a key thing to understand is knowing the audience and knowing how to work and not being afraid to do so. All right. Let's talk about 10 things that DMs, BMs, DOMs, assistant managers need to be good at promoting, okay? There are 10 things, in my opinion, that a DM, a branch, a DOM, an assistant manager has to be great at promoting. Let's go over them. Number 1, coaching calls. Why do you think I have that listed number 1?
Because it's the number one thing.
Because I truly believe, in my opinion, that is the number 1 keys to a representative's success.
1,000%.
100%. That like the number 1 key to a representative's success are those coaching calls. There's nothing more important when a representative is new than those coaching calls.
Period.
After every single demo, we're going to have a 2 to a 5 minute coaching call. We're going to go over all the we're going to review your presentation, talk about what you sold, record your results. Hey, did anything pop up that you didn't know how to answer? Did any questions come up you weren't sure how to respond to? And then we're also going to be able to give you tips. And we're going to cut your learning curve down dramatically. Then we're going to give you some encouragement and light you on fire before you walk into your next demo. So in my opinion, those coaching calls are the most important part of a rep's job when they're new. Listen, we don't care about the results. We know that we're going to sell the knives. What the focus here is communication. Communication is by far the most important part of a rep's job. I'd be writing this stuff down, by the way, as I'm doing. I'm going to kind of do this quickly live for you, like how I promote. So that's how I promote getting people to call in for coaching calls, right? Phone jams, team meetings. You know, this is part of my expectations talk on day 3. Hey, listen, you know, there's a couple things I want you to write down in your notes as we talk about the office schedule. The first thing is advanced training, blah, 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 blah. The next thing I want you to write down are team meetings. Team meetings are at 9 p.m. on Wednesday night. They're at 9 p.m., so they're out of the way of phone jams. They're out of the way of phone calls. They're out of the way of appointments. They're out of the way of vacation Bible study. They're out of the way of everything. We do them at 9 p.m. on Wednesday nights. Now, they are required. Wednesday nights, this is the only time that you need to be at this office. Do not call me at 5 or 6 o'clock on a Wednesday trying to explain to me why you're not going to make it to a team meeting. I'm going to tell you that you have one of 2 options. 1, you can come to the team meeting. 2, you can return your sample kit and find somewhere else to work. This is a required part of the job. 9 o'clock, team meetings. Now, I'm not going to have to twist your arm to make you want to come. They're freaking awesome. It's my favorite hour of every single week. Okay? It is a blast. We recognize our top performers. We recognize our newsletter achievers. We recognize our top earners for the week. Okay, we do some additional learning. So every week you come into that team meeting, you're gonna get better and better at the job. And then we go have some fun for tea night. We go bowling at Montfort on Park 10 Lanes. It's awesome. Okay, but here's the deal. You know, if scheduling conflicts are okay. If you have a scheduling conflict, talk to me about it ahead of time. You know, we'll work it out for you. No worries. But if you ever come up to me and say, hey, Bryan, it's really important. It's my grandmother's 80th birthday party. Can I leave? It starts at 8 o'clock. Can I leave the team meeting early? What am I going to be forced to tell you?
No.
Yeah, and you know, I promise that's going to be my answer. And I'll tell you also something else. It's not even fair to put me in that position. That's not right. I don't want to say no to that, but I have to because we have standards in this organization, and I'm going to hold the standards for every single person. I'm not going to sacrifice and change them for one individual. And by the way, if your grandmother's party was really important, when would you have told me about it?
Ahead of time.
Yeah. Okay, so what's ahead of time? If you're going to miss a mandatory event, what's ahead of time?
At least a week.
1 week. 1 week. Listen, you can tell me that you're going to Barney on Ice. I'll make fun of you, but I'll let you go as long as you tell me 1 week ahead of time. You come up to me the day before, a couple hours before, I promise you the answer will always be no. And is that because I'm an ogre?
No.
Is that because I'm a dictator?
No.
No, it's because I care about you. I want you to be successful. That's my job. So that'd be team meetings. That'd be phone jams, right? It'd be very similar for phone jams. Yes, Hunter.
So if a kid actually tells you he's going to Barney on Ice, would you have like a conversation about how?
Probably. I'd probably be like, dude, Barney on Ice probably shouldn't take precedence over a team meeting. I would probably try to sell him off of that. Number 3, first promo, first weekend. You know, if you can get reps to hit their first promo first weekend, it's going to be game over. You know, that's more of a training talk. I'll move past that. Push alliance. If you can get people on your push alliance, you will have a great summer. You will have development candidates. You will have a lot of fun. It will not feel like work because you enjoy the people that you're with and the environment so damn much. I don't know how many hours I worked last summer. It was a lot. It never felt like it though because I really loved the people that I was surrounded with and surrounded by. Okay, and that's one of the beautiful parts of our business. And I'll tell you, it's all about pushes in our business. And here's why. You know, in the summertime during SC1 and SC2, $235,000 in sales for SC1, $300,000 plus in sales for SC2. That was half. Just those 2 pushes.
A month, 5 weeks.
5 weeks. You know, if you can't be great at pushes, you're probably not gonna have a great summer. You can have an okay summer. You can have an average summer. You can't have a great summer if you're not good at pushes. You can be average. That's okay. We need average, but you can't win trophies that way. You have to be great at pushes. You know, Darren Gardner, one of my best friends in the world, will be the first to admit the reason he didn't have $1 million year last year is he didn't rock the pushes like his organization needed to. He'll be the first one to tell you that. And one of the things that we've been talking back and forth on is I've been talking to him about pushes, and he's been working with me on development. You know, and he's been kind of talking to me about building a mega district around Charlotte the next couple summers and having some branches branch around me. And I'm kind of fired up about that. We might have a Gastonia branch next summer, bro.
Super fired.
That is your territory. So push alliances, and you guys kind of saw me do that live. We're gonna role play that here in a couple minutes. Conferences. You gotta be great at promoting conferences, and I'll tell you, by the way, the conferences and the push alliance. That typically goes hand in hand. That's typically one message, in my opinion. You know, I was telling, and I don't know if NFL and those guys are still on because all I see is the white man's face dot thing. But here's what I will say. Here's typically how the promotional conversation goes with conferences and pushes. I promote the conference first, then I promote what?
The push itself.
The push itself, and then what I promote? Alliance. So conference first, then I promote the push, then I promote the alliance. And then I close individually. So, hey, dude, what do you think? Are you game? Or you're on the alliance, right, bro? I mean, you're not thinking about oh yeah, I don't even know why I'm asking. You're on the alliance. Okay, cool. Right? It's just an assumptive sale. Get them there, and I'll tell you, you'll do wonders with them. So promote conferences. You have to be great at promoting 30-30. You have to be great at promoting 30-30. You take what your number 25 sales rep sells for the campaign. You throw a couple zeros on it, and that's what you're probably going to sell for the year or for that campaign. Take number 25 rep, put a couple zeros, that's what you're probably going to sell for the campaign. Okay, so, by the way, keep in mind, dirty 30 reps also turn into what? Development, right? That's why dirty 30, in my opinion, is one of the most important things you have to be able to promote. SLDM. The more you can get your reps in front of your division manager, the better your office is going to do.
True.
Anytime you can get your rep in front of a division manager, you are a fool if you don't do everything in your power to get someone there. You're a fool if you don't try to sell someone off of a bull crap this or a vacation that. You know, you've got to get people to those SLDMs. There is not a single district manager, myself included, who can impact people to a higher level than a division manager can. If I could, I would be a division manager. Even my people. My focus, I know that if I get my people to Larry, we're going to sell more Cutco. I know that. Because Larry's going to build me up. He's going to talk about the opportunity. He's going to want him to be on my alliance even that much more. He's going to teach him some sharp skills. They're going to come back. They're going to sell more. They're going to be more impressed by him. I can promote him more. That's what it's all about. You got to get your people to SLDMs. You know, that's the easiest way to have someone else increase your rep productivity. Okay?
Thanks, Mr. Larry.
I mean, if you get someone to an SLDM, I'll be damned if they're not going to be someone who sells at least $3,000. If you get I would like to see a stat on that. Attendance of representatives and what their career sales end up being. I bet that most representatives who attend an SLDM end up being over the $3,000 in sales mark on average. Let's track that. Because that's an easy way to be able to promote that in the future. Hey, 100% of representatives who attend this event earn their second promotion on the job. Ooh. 100% of them. I would just promote it like that anyway. Okay, because here's what happens. Here's why. Because when you promote it,
You're gonna tell them what happens.
it happens.
And then it happens. You tell them
Okay?
it happens.
Promote it with certainty, and what happens?
It happens.
It happens.
See?
Okay. SLDN. And the last. Then I also wrote down what? What else is on here? President's Club. You got to be able to promote President's Club. By the way, what I do is I promote President's Club hard in training, and I just tie it right to Dirty 30. When you hit Dirty 30, you hit President's Club. Easy way to remember it for you, because I had no idea what the hell the actual letters were for so many years. So when you hit Dirty 30, you hit President's Club. I know that for a fact. It doesn't matter when you start. Okay, you hit Dirty 30, you're hitting President's Club. All right? Doesn't matter when you start. All right, what else is on there?
DVM.
What's that mean?
You got to be able to promote each other, our team, and we got to build each other up.
You got to be able to build him up like he walks on water. When people meet the DVM, Larry always knows who the best promoters in his division are. Matt King always knows who the best promoters in his division are based on the way their representatives greet him for the first time.
Hey, Mr. Manley.
Okay, if you're scared, then the district manager did a good job building up the division manager to the rep. If they're not scared, you messed up. They should be a little bit intimidated to meet Larry. They should be a little bit intimidated to meet Matt.
What's up, LM?
They should, if you're a branch manager and you came out of a district manager's office, they should be that, and they should have that same feeling meeting the district manager. If you're a dom, people that you interview should feel that way meeting your district manager for the first time in training.
I gave you both a shout out in the last one.
Nice. That's what it's all about. Okay, because here's what happens. When you're able to promote and build up other people, you know what they always do?
Build you up.
Build you up. And it gives you so much more. So when I make it like Larry walks on water, and then Larry promotes me like I walk on water,
They both walk on water.
oh my God! Then what happens is I have more credibility, I have more clout, I have more pull. That's what happens. My assistant managers need to be able to do that with each other.
Mm.
Oh, dude, you get to go field training with Hunter Capriol? What? Holy crap, dude, you should have to pay to do that. Literally. Oh my God. If you don't take at least 3 pages of notes, bro, you were not paying attention. You know? So be able to build each other up. And the last one is what?
Leadership Academy.
Leadership Academy. You know, guys, and this is something that I'm committed to learning with all of you. This is, how many of you know who Aaron Forsman is? If I say the name Aaron Forsman, how many know who that is?
Forstman?
Forsman. Cookie knows who he is because Cookie's old school, okay? Who else knows? No one. Okay, that's my freaking point. You don't know who Aaron Forsman is. He's a division manager in Steel City. His division is like the Pittsburgh area, okay? I'm not sure what this guy's office did and knew last year, but it wasn't very much. But I will tell you this. He's putting out 10 district managers out of his own office this year.
As a district?
As a division manager, 10 DMs out of his office.
Jeez.
He's exporting 4 more.
14 total district managers launched?
This
Oh my God!
He's outside of his mind, and I'm going to read you why. Okay? First of all, he's branded the division, which is what we are doing. Okay? This is the brand. It's like the Nike swoosh. Okay? You get it? You rock this everywhere. This is life. All right? This. Number 1. Number 2, the way he promotes the Leadership Academy is incredible. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read this to y'all, okay, the same way I'm going to read it to my people until I have it memorized.
Thanks.
By the way, this is also how I ran training with the Feldman material when I was a brand new trainer, when I hadn't ran the Feldman stuff. Okay, so here's the deal. This Leadership Academy, if you get an opportunity to take part in this, I'll tell you, it'll be the most valuable way that you spend your time for the next 4 months. Okay? The single most valuable way you can spend your time. Our Leadership Academy is the way that we develop our upcoming leaders. It's equivalent to taking a 1 credit hour course. It's an hour or 2 a week. Okay? It's 1 divisional event per month, in person or Skype, depending on the distance, and 1 regional event per fall, which is our Olean trip. And it takes place in November. Now, the value of a 1 credit class. See, here's the deal. There's some classes out there at certain universities that are actual 1 credit hour courses. Here's some examples of them. Appalachian State has a Gaga for Gaga class, where they talk about fame and the I don't know what the hell they talk about in that class, to be quite honest. Okay, this class. Okay, and I swear to God, and if you guys can do this on your own, look up 1 credit hour courses at universities. I want you guys to do this on your own.
Really interesting.
Columbia University has a Harry Potter class.
Yeah.
Columbia University has a 1 credit hour Harry Potter class. I mean, there's all these. Okay, 1 credit hour class. Okay. I think Georgetown is a great school. They offer a class called Philosophy of Star Trek. University of Virginia is a great school. They have a class called Gaga for Gaga. Okay? A 1 credit hour class at Columbia University costs $1,630. That's basically a BMW lease for people to take a class on zombies and popular culture at the University of Columbia. Okay? The cost of Leadership Academy is $0. In fact, in the grand scheme of things, the only thing anyone is investing is their time.
Bruh.
Leadership Academy, we have a preset syllabus that's given out to all of our first Leadership Academies attendees at the Celebration of Champions in August, which is a conference for our top representatives. Celebration of Champions is going to take place in August. Some people will choose to hammer out some homework assignments before they go to school during some breaks on the event. Some people prefer to take the tortoise route and just have some fun. Either way, there's going to be 3 pillars of our Leadership Academy. Pillar number 1 is going to be personal growth. Pillar number 2, professional growth. Pillar number 3, financial growth, personal growth. There is absolutely no employer in the world who is looking for people who are just focused on school. The difference between a 3.3 GPA and a 3.8 GPA to a student is massive. To an employer, the difference isn't anything really. Employers would much rather have a 3.3 student who is an athlete or involved in a lot of clubs or did something significant like the Leadership Academy over someone who has really great grades. Employers don't want people who can just work hard, but also have other priorities like bowling clubs, coaching high school sports, jiu-jitsu, basketball leagues. You'll never be involved in just one thing during your adult life. What?
Is that it?
No, there's 2 more pages.
Oh,
Tell me
God.
more, Bryan.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to
Can we
get this
get
out to all of you.
out?
This
Yeah,
is
please.
pages, funny enough, I don't know if he did this on purpose. I don't think he did. But it's pages 9 and 10. In this packet, it's pages 9 and 10. I shit you not. You need to memorize it. It's his whole Leadership Academy packet.
Oh,
Everything.
gotcha. And this is
DM.
page 9.
You need to memorize pages 9, 10, and 11.
Oh,
Okay.
love that.
I hear young people sometimes. I just want to be a student. But when are you ever going to do just one thing? So why would you practice at that? Okay, you don't ever become a great father. You don't want to just be a great father or a great husband or a great wife. You know, you want to be great in business and be a great father and be a great husband and be impacting your community.
Ooh.
Right? Professional growth. We have topics like how to dress for success, public speaking, financial planning, how to write a resume, CVI, which is a psychometric testing instrument, negotiation skills. What we're really talking about here isn't the measure of isn't the resume of a branch manager or a 2-time branch manager or even a sales representative. We're talking about this one bullet point that pushes off hobbies like snowboarding, halo, racquetball. More importantly, this to be a topic of conversation. Tell me about the Leadership Academy. Well, it's a 4-month course built on the pillars of personal, professional growth, and financial growth. I learned X, Y, and Z.
This is money.
Okay? That could be something that you talk about for 2 or 3 minutes. It could be a game changer in any and every job interview that you ever went into.
It will be.
Another thing is how, that relates to Leadership Academy is how it creates leverage and opens up doors, especially if you're in college, because by the time we get to December, our Leadership Academy is largely compiled of members who are applying to be in our spring management training, which runs the course of the spring. If someone has completed the Leadership Academy, then they'll have the opportunity to apply for our spring management training, which could lead to an advancement opportunity within Vector.
Oh my gosh.
That door of invitation to apply to our management training, that creates leverage for people who've completed the Leadership Academy and who are looking for other jobs and internships. It's the chip in your pocket that you have for every single interview that you ever walk into. I had a student who went through the Leadership Academy a number of years ago. She did a great job saving $3,000 to $4,000 saved all just working in the fall. She applied for an anthropology internship that involved working on the site of a dinosaur dig in Utah. She walked into the interview and was offered an unpaid internship. Instead of simply accepting the offer, she played her chip by explaining the Leadership Academy and her opportunity to apply for our management training and concerned that she'd be losing out on money that could help her graduate debt-free. Without hesitation, they altered her internship to a paid one. And in my mind, that's even a major win for someone that's in our Leadership Academy. Even people who don't necessarily continue with Vector beyond the spring can benefit from the Leadership Academy experience. Financial growth.
OPE.
The number one reason that why businesses, churches, and marriages fail is poor money management. The number one reason that those organizations and those relationships thrive is exceptional money management. Money isn't the most important thing, but nothing we teach about leadership is valuable if you don't have a great relationship with money. Francis Bacon says, money makes a great servant, but a poor master. Another reason for the importance of financial growth is if someone wants to go into a management role with the company invests somewhere between $9,000 and $21,000 in them. If someone isn't great at managing money when it's small, then think about what happens when it's large. If someone is poor at managing money when it's small, do you think they're going to manage money when it's large?
No, of course not.
No, of course they're not. I also think about when someone's good at money, it's a result of making small correct choices on a daily basis. It's a sum of their character. We've had tremendous success in our division. This person saved this. This person saved this. How many 18 to 22-year-olds that you know that save that much money in a year or in a semester? Okay? Here's what it's not. It's not more than 1 or 2 hours a week. Members of the Leadership Academy can have 3 ways that they're involved. Leadership Academy is 1 to 2 hours a week. An active representative is three demos or more a week. An assistant manager or an office assistant is 10 to 20 hours a week. Those are 3 separate roles. This past fall, Diane Tran and Sophia are 2 examples of members who had really heavy schedules, so they were active and did 1 to 2 hours of Leadership Academy a week. Both made it into our management training and are now branch managers. Some people will fall into 3 roles, some 2, and a few will only commit to 1. At any point in time, members can step up their commitment. Allie Hoke started as a freshman at the University of Pittsburgh this past fall. For the fall, she simply did Leadership Academy. Then as the spring started, she upped her commitment by working as an assistant manager, and now she's a branch manager. Some people will do the minimum during the school year, which is fine, and then they'll up their commitment over the winter break by selling or working as an office assistant.
Wow.
It's not management training. Management training takes place in the spring. Okay, do most people who go through the Leadership Academy apply to our management training? Yes. Has anyone ever done work, completed the Leadership Academy, and not made it into our management training, and that was their intention? Never. I've had a couple people who go through the Leadership Academy and decided they did not want to continue with management training. Sure, that's happened. 3 years ago, Caroline Daughtry went through Leadership Academy and decided not to continue in the spring. The next fall, she went through the Leadership Academy a second time, then decided to apply to our management training. She ended up as a branch manager, and she's now an FSM. It's not a commitment beyond 2016. The Leadership Academy is a 4-month course ending in December. To see it through to the end says something about them, but we aren't really looking for anything beyond December because we'll cross that bridge at the completion of Leadership Academy. For those who are accepted, they also get this really cool t-shirt, a challenge coin, a wristband, an automatic invitation to our Celebration of Champions, which takes place in blank on blank at blank. We have a couple people who are being accepted today, and I'd like to go ahead and recognize those people.
Oh, that's so freaking fire. That shit is super
Okay.
fire.
Wow.
That shit is super fire.
Okay, I'm going to memorize this.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm going to talk about it all the time.
Team meetings.
I'm going to
Like-
give
100%.
sections and portions of this all the time.
Yep.
All the time. Every team meeting, every public
Training.
everything.
Every public everything.
You know,
Anytime
I'm
speak.
speaking in public, I'm going to be talking about that. But especially in July and August. That's hot, right?
Yeah.
So that's how you promote the Leadership Academy. And
July
you
and
might
August,
got
bro.
a couple things written down there.
What about your future op meeting on the 22nd? That's like, but not only that, but you're gonna have a lot of people at that meeting when you've been promoting it for
Definitely.
so long.
This you nail at that future op meeting. And then you say, now, let me tell you how you get an opportunity to get into that Leadership Academy. It's called SC2 Push. So we just had SC1, and we figured out who the players were, and we separated the boys from the men.
And the girls.
Okay? Now, and the women from the girls.
Oh, so-
Okay? Now, it's time to see who brings home hardware. Now it's time to see who steps up when it really matters. Because now we know that you're a player, but big players step up at big times. This is a big time. It's SC2 Push. There's no bigger time, right? And then you promote SC2 and you get them fired up to be interviewed for your SC2 Alliance. That's what I would do at that future
You
opportunity.
don't do interviews for SC1
Not SC1. So, any quick questions on the keys to promotion, things to be good at promoting, or promoting the Leadership Academy?
Nah, that's freaking fuego. Super hot.
You guys like that?
Oh,
So I'll just tell you, Aaron Forsman the whole time. Like I'll be honest. When this guy got up to talk, I was like, hands back, behind my head, ready to just fall asleep. And then he started speaking, And this whole packet, by the way, is as good as the 3 pages I just read.
That was fire.
So so Larry and I are texting each other from the meeting. I'm like, dude, we need to make these changes. We need to shift to this. And he's like,
Super.
hell yeah. I'm like, every DM needs to memorize pages 9, 10, and 11. and that last part as well. Like, it's that good. So anyway, all right, guys. Just keep in mind, I'll just conclude with how we started, and that's promotion really comes down to is enthusiasm, is energy, is excitement. And don't give me the bullshit of, that's just not me. I'm just not that type of person. I didn't come out of the womb fired up.
Can you imagine? Bryan, nigga, we made it.
Okay? Yes, sir.
Can you build up Larry? Can you,
Yeah.
do like an
Okay.
example?
You know what, guys? Here's the deal. At this SLDM, I'll tell you right now, you're actually going to have the opportunity to meet my manager. Okay? Mr. Manley. Mr. Manley is a 28-year Cutco veteran. This guy, I'll just tell you, I'll tell you what we call him. He's the Godfather.
Legend.
Okay? He's legend. This, Mr. Manley, let's put it in perspective. I have sold $8 million worth of Cutco in my career. Mr. Manley, his career sales are over $90 million. $95 million. Shaking this man's hand will make you money. Literally. Okay? He is one of the single best trainers in the entire company, one of the best developers of people in the entire company. He has developed arguably more top district and division managers than anyone in our entire company's history. There's only one active division manager in the entire company with career sales higher than him. There's only one person in our entire region with career sales higher than him. It's our region manager. I mean, just to be in his presence makes you better at selling Cutco. To be able to actively learn from him can turn around a career or set fire to one that's already going well. I'm just telling you, I started in his office. He trained me. I was an assistant manager in his office. He trained me to be a district manager. This guy's next level. If you think I'm good, he's taught me everything I know. Anything I know about anything with Cutco, I learned it from him. He's developed more millionaires inside of Cutco than probably any single person has individually done in our business. He's had a hand in influencing more millionaires inside of Cutco more than any other single individual in our company's history. I'm just getting the opportunity to meet him, getting the opportunity to go to his office to learn from him. I should charge you admission to that. Literally, I should have you hand me $20 walking in the door. It's that good. And you would hand me $20 walking out because it was that good. Watch what happens. When people come back from SLDMs, their sales percentage immediately spikes by 10 or 15% because of what they learned from Mr. Manley. When someone comes back from an SLDM, their average order goes up at least $50 to $100 because of what they learned. He's going to teach you something called the kitchen system. Dude, the kitchen system? I remember when I first learned the kitchen system, that was all I started selling. Mm-hmm. I was like a kitchen system machine, dude. Okay, you want to talk about handling objections, dropping down, working with customers? There's not a better trainer to train those 3 things than Mr. Manley himself. He's the Godfather. So I'm just telling you, when you're sitting in front of him, you should try to write every freaking word that he says. Every word that comes out of that man's mouth, you should try to write it down. You're not going to be able to get every word, but you should damn sure try. I mean, even to this day, when he says jump, you know what I say? When he says run, you know what I say? Because I know that he has people's best interests at heart, and there's not a better director of people, not a better developer of people, not a better trainer of people in our business than Mr. Larry Manley. That's probably how I would promote my game.
Larry.
Where's Mr. Manley at?
So,
Is this Manley the goat can?
nice. I like that. Any other questions?